Yeah, sounds like fun. Okay, so I apparently have 2 desktop audios here. I'm going to try muting one. Right, and I've also got the...
Well, can they still hear me now? Is the first question. Can you hear me now?
Okay, so my head...
Bob sounds perfect, and Sable sounds mechanical. Great.
Okay, then...
Okay, so kill one. Can we still hear
Let's
Bob?
try going back to the webcam mic instead of the headset mic on the stream and see if that works.
Okay. We can still hear Bob. Can we still hear Bob? Can you hear me? Yes, good. Okay.
Okay, and how's my voice, gang? Do I still have a mechanical sound?
Can you hear Sable at all? Keep talking, Sable.
Sable is human.
Yay. Okay, we have 2 working voices. Now can we get a camera? Or an image.
I would not bet on it for Alright, we're going to put the sprint screen back up. We're going to try to capture some windows. I don't have any idea what the hell here. Okay. It looks so weird to me right now. Okay, that's not what I want. That should be what I want, but it's not doing anything. Now let's see, if I put it up and make it the active window, it's still not capturing you.
Yeah, I still have, I'm still seeing the welcome to the official channel screen on Facebook, on Twitch.
Brr. Oh well, you know what? If we hear you, that's the relevant part, isn't it? Isn't it?
I guess, I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
So what did you think of the 10 prompts?
Yes, I know, Siobhan. That's because I haven't bothered to put up my Google Chrome yet. There's hardly any point if the whole damn thing doesn't work, is there? Oh my god. So, by the way, whoever sent me the curse, you're gonna get it back. I'm just telling you, and you're not gonna like it, because you have messed with a witch who is not impressed with you at all. I'm just telling you, you're not gonna like it. Okay, now.
It is summer camp and Q is writing. Oh yeah, there's the reason. There's the problem right there. Megacorpulus is rising again. Yeah.
Oh well, there is that. All right, so we're gonna put this useless, windowless. It could be a security thing with Zoom.
Oh, that could be.
Because you know they started doing that bullshit with Google Meet.
I remember that, and there's a way to do it. There's a way to fix it. Because I ran into that. I think I ran into that problem when the last time I tried to use Zoom for an RPG session.
Gotcha.
But there's a trick, and I don't remember what the trick is. With the settings. Oh yes, I do remember what it is.
Oh, do you?
Bring up the window, the browser window that's supposed to have the Zoom in it.
Okay, got it.
All right, and open up the full settings screen for it.
Properties. Is properties what I want? No.
Yes.
I was looking at that a minute ago and it didn't.
Yeah, no, and there is one. It's the second, but not the one with the URL, but there's a one below that.
This is a window capture, not a browser capture. It's not a browser source, so it doesn't have a URL.
It should still work. There's a second one there for I don't remember what it's called, and I can't jump across to see.
Okay, what I've got here is window capture method and window match priority.
Capture method is the one.
Okay.
Open up the choices.
I get bit Windows 7 and up, and Windows 10 1903 and up.
And what is the default? What's it set to now?
Automatic.
Set it to the Windows 10 one and see what happens.
We have, oh yay! Okay, there we go. Yeah. We have a picture. right, and you know what? We're gonna, like you said, like how you said, half an hour. We're gonna have to move over to yours and do this all again.
Now let me refresh and see if I can actually see. Yeah, how about that? Yay! There we are.
Yeah. So whoever sent me the curse, I sent it back. Be prepared. I'm just telling you, you're gonna get it. You're not gonna like it. Don't fuck with me. All right. Prompts. Let's do it.
Okay, we're doing it. Yay!
Thank you for bearing with me, everybody. There are 18 of you who have put up with this bullshit for the past hour, and I appreciate it. I am very loud.
Oh, look at the bright side. Laura got the raid, by the way.
Oh yeah, well they're doing the Sun Lodge, Happy Sun Lodge.
She was rated with over 360 people. She's down to under 30 now. So.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's kind of disappointing for her, actually. I feel really crappy about that.
Well, the good news is everybody held around to say light up the forge. So if she has that achievement about, get 200 people talking in your chat, she might have hit that.
Okay, for some reason I have 2 mic auxiliary things too. I have 4. Where did all... Okay, Aaron's gotta, take some shit out when we're done here. Because all that should be active is my webcam mic.
Well, it seems to be working, right? Is anybody hearing any weird echoes, or is everything pretty much stable? Now we only have one. Only have one what? Sable, you're good now.
Okay.
Whatever you did, stop.
Okay. All right, so we're looking at the prompts. This is what we're at. I've got the SummerCamp page up here. So prompt number 1, write about a building associated with healing the sick. What are your thoughts on that, Bob? Oh, and here's a question while we're here, right? I assume we're going to be doing some of these prompts not only for our own worlds, but for the Worldbuilders Roundtable project.
You've been talking to Kahuna.
Kahuna! Yeah, well, more like Kahuna's been talking to me. Kahuna's got a plan. Yeah. Kahuna's got a plan.
Yeah, Kahuna's thinking of upgrading that little world exercise to a whole full playable, scalable, sellable, marketable environment. So, which could work. We could do that. So anyway, this prompt. The first two I heard certainly go together. And for a lot of people, the first 3 are going to go together. I think I think they make a good segue, a good sequence. If you want to just get one good thought and carry them through a bunch of prompts, 1, 2, and 3 were definitely designed to let you do that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I will. 1 and 2 probably. 3, I'm probably going to do something different with 3, but I don't know. I'm not going to commit to that. I will say that of the 10 prompts, I think about 8 of them, I was able to immediately come up with at least one way to fit them into the region that I want to fit.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
In a good workable way. I mean, not even just something that maybe I'll get to it eventually, but I mean something that'll actually help early on. I was actually a bit surprised. If that ratio keeps going for the rest of summer camp, I'm going to be a very, very happy boy at the end of the month. So
what are your thoughts?
Well, the building associated with healing the sick, my first thought was actually to go toward a religious shrine in my world. Some sort of shrine dedicated to some ancient saint that was known for healing.
That makes sense.
All right, and the reason for that is one of the again, I'm working in a region that I call the kingdoms. One of the important of those kingdoms is a kingdom that very non-ostentatiously calls itself the first kingdom of humanity. And they firmly believe that they should be the only kingdom of humanity. They have a religion the state religion calls itself the true church of humanity.
Right.
So that should give you a feel for where that's going. And I'm going to need, like, historical religious figures to pepper the church with. So I've already got, the founder, the original, the original human who first got humans to gather together and build a village is like, the core saint of this whole faith. But I could use a few others, so I'm going to have to invent a saint so-and-so that was known for healing, and I'll possibly make up, like I said, I'll probably come up with a good, strange medical condition that he was especially famous for taking care of in the past, and it might not be very prevalent anymore, but whenever people get it, they run to this church, and hope to get healed. So that's the kind of the direction I'm thinking of taking for those two. Like I said, I don't know that I'm going to tie prompt 3 into that set. I might. It depends on how I figure out, if I figure out how the cure works. And if it's just pray to the gods, it's not going to fly. But if I can tie that to some other strange device or treatment or ritual or something, then maybe I can use it. I'll have to see.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you're talking about, well, I think this will go together and that'll go together, and it sort of has to do with this church, but you're not giving a lot of details because
I don't have
right.
the details yet.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who haven't heard, the way I like to work, I every morning I get up somewhere lately between the sun and the animals, it's like between 5:30 in the morning and 7 in the morning.
Yikes. Way too early for me.
But I get up, I have a very light breakfast, and I go out and sit on my front porch and essentially either watch the sunrise or at least watch the sun come up over the trees. It's an east-facing porch. It's nice and bright and sunny. Unless it is pitching rain with an east wind, I will be sitting on the porch. I will have my 24-ounce cup of coffee, my coffee, and a cigar, and I get about 90 to 95% of my creative thinking for the day done before I get off the porch. Nice. And then I spend the day committing it all to paper, or to virtual paper. Now, of course, the details all flow as I'm writing, but the concepts come there. So what I've got now might change completely tomorrow morning.
Gotcha.
I might come up with something better. But once I start writing, I'll pretty much stick to what I got. But if a better idea hits me between now and the time I start, then I'll change gears.
Makes sense.
And that's worked for me for the last year plus, and I don't see any reason to change it or stop it now. So.
Yeah, pretty much how I tend to approach these, right, is that, both my worlds I've been working at for a long time, one of them many years longer than others. So chances are I've already thought of something that relates to a prompt, and I have an idea of how it's going to go, but I haven't put it down yet. Right? That's about 90%. Every now and then, though, you get one of these, which is fun, where you're like, I never thought about that. Or, in the case of my case, like some people who have been building big worlds for a long time, right? They go, shit, I wish that I hadn't written about X, Y, and Z yet, because that would be perfect for this particular set of prompts, right? Like, that people run into that. I've heard that more than once in the Inner Sanctum, for example, right? But so it's a matter of trying to decide which one, right? I mean, okay, so it's a funny thing with our craptastic setting. There's actually two prompts that go together very well there that are the same thing: a medical condition which is feared by some, and a new medical cure, treatment, or breakthrough.
Yeah.
Right. But who gets to write that? You know.
You know which one, actually, you know which one could be very interesting for Craptastic World is a species of working animal.
Oh,
because we haven't talked about that at all.
Not a bit. We haven't come up with a thing.
I mean, right now the vampires are the only working animals we got. I mean, that's
I kind of made a commitment to myself that because my Kickstarter is still going on, I would try to work on the Toysoldier saga primarily with, our world building efforts being my secondary. If okay, I can't come up with an idea. Are the guys okay if I write X? Right, and
it's too bad. It's too bad your ships are more tree than animal. Huh?
Well, that's not always the case, right? Like I've got that one right. I've been looking for an excuse to write about my space whales, and those work just fine for the species of working animal.
They pull a good freight train, yeah.
Good night, Satrium. Have a good sleep. Thank you for all your hard work today.
Satrium. By the way, I did see that my everything from my morning session did get pulled properly. So I didn't see how long it took, but they definitely did go away. So I'm assuming everything is fine.
Yeah, so referring back to the chat here, I'm going to kind of do it in a random order. Oh, Satrium, because he's taking off, says, for prompt 2, I have something in my world already I've never really written about. Basically, if you channel too much magic, it will kind of scar you and make it harder to channel magic later on. I think that's a good one for that prompt. Yeah, a condition that people are afraid of? For sure. Right? Luftkin says, I'm brand new to World Anvil. Are the prompts geared to writing a story or describing the world the story takes place in?
The answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
Let me explain very quickly, because actually I've been thinking about this for one or two of these prompts. The myth or fairy tale about the prophecy oracle, or the myth about the mountain, lake, cave, or other landmark. Either one of those. I've started putting together a bunch of short stories that are associated with the world that I'm building primarily for RPG playing. And basically what starts out as a short article could get expanded into a short story, or more for that matter. I mean, there's no reason it couldn't be even bigger. So I think the short answer to that is yes. For camp itself, work on the article length responses, because we are capped at about 2,500 words, I think is the magic high end. But if you want to use these things as seeds for something else, then by all means go for it. I will tell you, in fact, the one prompt that I don't want to talk about a lot on screen is prompt number 6, because I am already about 6 scenes into an entire adventure arc based around what will be my extraordinary writing tool. And I don't want to give it away, because at least one of my test players is probably on this stream. So
thank you, Lady Wrights, for the bits. Yeah. Much appreciated.
But I will write the article. I will write the article to describe that thing. But that thing is going to end up figuring in at least a 3 adventure set of adventures in the kingdoms. So, and possibly more.
I don't know. I interpreted Luftkin's question a different way. Right? And I'm wondering if he's asking, is it about writing fiction or writing stuff about your fiction? And if that's what you were asking, then the answer is yes, right? Generally people approach these prompts like they're writing wiki entries or Wikipedia entries, right? Like if you check out somebody's world, feel free to put your... that is what you were asking there, Luftkin? All right, maybe I'm wasting my time then. Right? Which is fine. That's totally cool. But, if you're kind of looking for a format about you know, how that might look, right? There's my world. Yeah, I tend to write and leave that world behind. It was originally meant to be a way to organize your world building. It was designed by a gamer for a writer, right? And it has a lot of crossover between those kind of, you know, it can be used for gaming or writing, and since I do both and often they're linked together, it works out very well for me, right? But there's also a thing called manuscripts, which is the best fiction editing software, manuscript writing software I've ever seen, in my personal opinion, right? So I moved all my stuff there, and that's where I do all my writing now. So I don't know if that answers questions, but
Yeah, I mean, the articles themselves are designed to just be, inclusion bits or reference bits. You know, for more information, click here, that kind of thing.
exactly.
But something like SummerCamp, when these prompts come up, you know, they make you think of. I mean, like I'm designing a region now. Again, I'm designing it for play. All right. If in a complete vacuum, I would be laying out, these are the countries, these are the rulers, these are the important other figures, these are the important towns and cities, and then I would try to come up with, okay, and what kind of adventure, you know, what kind of plots do I want to run a player through? Well, SummerCamp throws up these odd little things like, an extraordinary writing tool.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you know, one of the things that I've been thinking about for the kingdoms and coming up blank on was, okay, what do I want to base a campaign on? You know, I don't want to use the same old tried and true tropes. Well, you know, all right, I'll give away a little. What happens if my extraordinary writing tool happens to be the pen or the stylus that the founding saint of the true Church of Humanity used to pen the rules of the church? And what if that pen had some magical qualities, and that if it is used by the current leader of the church, some magical energies are invoked that actually make those rules binding on the people? And what happens if a church that's split off from that church a few thousand years ago somehow manages to steal that pen?
Neat.
And it's not discovered until the first time the main church leader goes to use it, and suddenly it's not working anymore. You know, because what's there now is a fake.
Interesting. I like that.
You know, so
that's cool.
Now, I never would have thought of that. I hadn't thought of that until about an hour ago.
Perfect. See, that's what they're for, right? To inspire you to ideas that'll be relevant and useful for your world.
Yeah.
There's some great stuff going on in the chat. Rowan says for the place of healing, her first thought was a druid animal rescue, which I think is absolutely kick-ass.
That's cool.
Right? Kayatan says, I'm going for a boring hospital. Well, hospitals are cool. And then twice he said, do magical COVID. Okay, magical COVID has been done. It was called Captain Trips, and Stephen King did it in the 70s.
Yep.
So I'm not doing it because it's been done. I mean, that's a magical disease, right?
And it was very, very badly it was made into an excellent TV miniseries back in the 80s.
Yes. And a terrible
miniseries more recently.
Agreed completely. Yep. Yeah. Conquest Publishing, and hello, by the way, says a factory building that takes you apart and reassembles you with repairs and healing completed. I think that's really cool. That's neat. Now, then there was a comment, void coffee, because your coffee did not show up on your green screen until you brought it forward a bit. It was kind of fun. Rowan says, my best thunks happen in the places between sleep and awake. Yep, that makes sense to me. Siobhan has redeemed a 5-minute brainstorm. She wants a name for her dystopian Earth set in 2274. First of all, you have to tell us a bit about what happened. Why is it dystopian? Right? And is it magic or technological? What sentient races are present? right? Are there special conditions of the world we need to know?
Is it actually, did it used to be Earth?
Yeah, that's a good first question for sure.
Because if it used to be Earth, the first thing that comes to my mind is call it Dearth.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody else did. Humans aren't that original with our names, man. Most of our names for this world in a variety of languages mean dirt.
Dearth.
Dad says I have decided to do a procreating mechanical animal species as intelligent as a monkey. That's not going to go wrong really badly, really fast. No. Conquest Publishing says love me some RPG. Can't agree more. Yeah. I don't know if you're acquainted actually, Conquest, but RPG Dinosaur Bob and I are part of a group of we call ourselves the Worldbuilders Roundtable Adventurers Forge, right? And we just kind of started a project where everybody contributed channel points on our various channels, and then if everyone did, we would all get together and create a world live on stream with input from the audience, and that's what we did, right? So they had us writing this very unique post-apocalyptic magic crapscape setting. It's really cool, actually. It's a lot of fun.
Where vampires are the good guys and humans are the bad guys.
And elves.
And elves, yeah.
Yeah. Luftkin says, I'm still going to do my best. Okay, I tend to write and leave that world behind. I'm still going to do my best with it. I tend to think all our stories come from a place, and I might write the articles for the prompts as coming from that place. That makes sense to me. Natalia asked if World Anvil was overloaded, but now it's back. Probably. I mean, come on, it's summer camp. It's the first day.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There were 350 people on the stream today.
Yeah, I've never seen such a big audience, actually. not for yeah, I mean that's bigger than even World Ember was. Bitzer K says I have a pen in the shape of a finger's bones. That's cool.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. So Siobhan says global warming and war. Right.
Oh yeah, we're still brainstorming. Okay.
Right. And she hasn't yet answered us whether or not it's our Earth. If it's our Earth,
yeah, she did.
Call it.
Yeah. She says it is Earth.
Okay. Why do you?
It's
I
our
see.
Future. Yeah.
I see. So you need a name for the future universe that you're using for World Anvil, not necessarily Earth, right? I mean, it's an old hat thing, but I'm terrible with names, right? I like James's thing, Terra Tribus, Earth 3 in Latin. That might work. I would probably just call it Earth 2275, right? Or if I come up with a name for my book series, I would call that. That's why the Toysoldier Saga, the world is called the Toysoldier Saga, right? Because it's space, and there's lots of worlds. What the hell do you call that? The verse is cool, but it's been taken, right? So, so they call it known space, right? In world, but the name I used for the universe was Toysoldier Saga, right? So, if you've got like a name in mind for your book or your series, that might be what to call it for that purpose. Natalia shared a link to her Cursed Island location. Going to connect this one with legend and myth about a landmark, the myth and the work animal. That's neat.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't yet. You can change the name, right? After you've used it, you can change it. It just means that it rearranges all of your URLs. So don't do that until after the judging of SummerCamp. Go with whatever name you start with. Right? Then when the judging's done, go ahead.
Yeah, I did that actually with last SummerCamp. I had a bunch of articles that I gave tetchy names to the articles, and then over the most recent few months, a lot of them just got much more mundane names so that they would fit into something else. Especially some of the location articles. You know,
Right.
instead of just the name of the city, I would, that I had I had an interesting, what would be a catchier title. But now that article is finding its way just into an atlas of the region, that title goes out and the city name goes back in. So
Dune Earth sounds pretty cool.
yeah. So Sable, looking at the 10.
Yes.
Are there any that have you at least initially completely stumped?
Completely stumped. Oh yeah, always right at the beginning. Let's see which one I'm going. Okay, there. No, I sort of got an idea for that. I haven't a clue for the extraordinary writing tool. I've got like a half. Okay, no, actually, I do have kind of a half-baked idea. I guess that doesn't count. Let me see. Moving on.
For me, it's the medical treatment.
Right.
And although I could certainly come up with some mundane ones, I want to do something fun with species of working animal, and I don't have the slightest idea what that is going to be yet. But that one's going to take some thought for me. The geographical landmarks and the myths, I'm sure I'll come up with something for those. I'm not worried about it. I don't have anything off the top of my head now, but I'm not worried about those. And the festival with the celestial body, I'm certainly not worried about.
Yeah, there's no shortage of options there.
I've even started to build. I even started to build something in that I've never really explained, other than in about a sentence or two in an overview. But I have a 2-moon world, and one of the moons is red. The smaller one is red, and the bigger one is white. And every 7 years, there's one eclipses the other, and it looks like this red pupiled pale eyeball in the sky.
Right.
And horrible, magical, bad, dark things happen that day. That night. So about that one, yeah. And just look at our own history. If you have a night that horrible, bad, dark things happen, then you're gonna have some sort of rituals and festivals around it to protect you from those bad, dark things happening.
Yep. Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, you know what? That's the one that I'm struggling the most with. I mean, like, I don't have any specific idea. I've got this idea that some spells need to be written with magical ink of some kind, but what that ink and tool might be to do that, I haven't got a frickin' clue. Right? So, yeah, I'll call that one the stumper. Yeah. I've got a half-baked idea for every other one, or some, lazy-ass thing I can fall back on if I don't, right? That one's going to require me to think a lot.
Yeah, the other ones, like I said, I have ideas for about 3 or 4.
Hello,
I'm not worried about all of the rest but one. So
right. Just saying hi to Esong, who says that she finally got her internet back, which is nice.
Oh, that explains why she hasn't responded to my DM.
I was wondering about that too, actually, where she disappeared to. So I'm glad to see you're back, and nothing has happened.
I had asked Esong if she wanted to try to join us in 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah, hey, that'd be fun if she was up to it. In a couple of minutes here, we're moving over to Dinosaur Bob's channel, right? It was kind of a weird thing. I was not supposed to be streaming today originally. I was supposed to be out of town, but with the heat wave, my plans got postponed, right? So I was still going to do my morning stream that I had scheduled, although I spent most of the time fucking with tech problems, so that doesn't impress me. But, so the plan was Bob had filled the space, which I really appreciate, where I normally stream today. And he said, and then we started talking, and we're like, well, why don't we go on each other's streams and, hang out and talk together about the prompts then. So that is what we're doing. So, yeah. So my prompt even stumped Sable. Was that suggested by, well, that's the one you're sponsoring, right? Was that suggested by you? It's interesting. I haven't a clue. Yeah, I'll come up with something. I always do. Right? Conquest Publishing says for the work animal, I may look at some work that's unique versus the animal. That's interesting. Oh, hey, I just had another idea for that, actually. I got some... If I'm cheating, I've got... Okay, it's not really cheating, but I kind of view it as cheating because I've got a campaign world that's one of my oldest campaign worlds that's part of the Toysoldier Saga universe, so I can always go back there, you know? Right? And I got some stuff there. So, yeah.
Yeah, for the animal, if I'm going to try to keep it in the kingdoms, I'm not quite sure what I'll use. But I have a couple of interesting options there. What, for example, what kind of animals would the cat folk or the rat folk use?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Instead of just what do the humans use, you know?
Yeah, people who live underground are going to have to use like different things, and obviously cat and rat folk are going to have different, because they have like, you know, the nature of a predator or of a scavenger. They're going to get on differently with different types of animals than humans will. Some just aren't going to work for the cat folk, I imagine. They're going to be just terrified and useless, right?
Yeah, and the other choice is, although it's not in the region I was planning, there is basically the last bastion of high civilization lizard folk in the world, and that's where my dinosaurs are going to live.
Neat.
Because I have to have dinosaurs, so I could.
Yes.
So I could have, you know, like
you're contractually obligated as dinosaur Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could have, for example, you know, the Triceratops bulldozer or something. You know.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually there, Rowan. Rowan says you could always do a thing about the draconian wormlings and the jobs they do to help earn their first hoard. They're not really animals, though. They're sentient beings, so I don't know about that. Right? And Moon is the one who suggested and sponsored the writing tool prompt, so that's cool. All right, so we're at 4 minutes to the hour, so turning of tails, people. Bring out your words! Bring out your words! Bring out your words!
Sable, I'm gonna jump off.
Yep.
Esong says she is interested, so I'm gonna see if I can at the last second put together the last extra. Most of what I have should work right away. I just might have to rearrange a screen a little bit to make room to fit a third head on the screen.
Yep, no problem.
So Esong, if you're out there, get ready. Watch for Discord DM. It'll have an invite link to get connected. And Sable, like I said, I'm gonna leave the Twitch on mute so I see what you're doing. But I'm gonna jump off and see if I can get set up. And hopefully I will have slightly better luck than we did. I did.
Let's hope. All right. Okay. It's fine. I got a couple minutes anyway. This is the end of my show, and I kind of jumped in here because this is the only one I'm going to save for VOD, obviously. I think that I'm going to run the videos again, all of them. Right, so we got a few minutes while you're getting set up, and then we'll raid over to Dinosaur Bob, obviously.
All right, so I'm going to kill this Zoom call. Hopefully that doesn't take down the rest of your chat.
Okay, thanks, Bob. I'll see you on your channel in a couple minutes.
Yep.
Bye. All right. I don't know why I have 4 auxiliary mics. We're going to have to do something about that. All right. Yes, I did get your report for House Tiki there, Dramag. Thank you. Zeroth is streaming SummerCamp rating. Maybe if... Okay, yeah. Thank you for letting us know. Oh, thank you, Esong, for the sub. Really appreciate it. Alright, guys. Thanks very much. I am going to start moving towards the end of the stream here. I'm going to try not to shut down until, permanently until I see that Bob is up. We'll raid over there when we're done. But since we're at the end of the stream, I appreciate your patience with all the technical difficulties over the past couple of days. Today especially. It was kind of at the point where if it didn't work today, I was going to huck the computer right out the window that's in front of me. So thank you for your patience. Right? And we're going to, thank you for the lovey signs. I appreciate that. I think that's a bunny, by the way. I use that emote to represent a bunny. Right. And yeah, just before we go, I'm going to check in on my Kickstarter here and see how we're doing. We have 14 days to go as of today. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's reload this just to make sure, because that moved and it did something. All right, so we're at 38.73 of 36.90. So obviously we've made the funding goal, but it's been kind of in a semi-holding pattern for a couple days. That's okay, right? $5,000 we make an ebook though. So if you want to see an ebook, tell your friends and, you know, share and, you know, share on your social media and get excited about it. And hopefully we can do that, because that would be cool. I would really like to pay Kahuna to do it. That would be kind of my ideal, support the community. But hey, that's all right. That's cool. And I appreciate all you guys' support so far. Thank you very much, everybody. And we're gonna move now to the videos, and we'll see you over at Bob's.
Hi there, my name is Diane Morrison, and I'm a science fiction and fantasy author. I'm looking for your help to publish my novel, A Few Good Elves. Years ago, you guys helped me publish Once Upon a Time in the Weird West, which is a collection of my Weird Western serial stories. And 2 years ago, you helped me to edit and publish Gunsmoke and Dragonfire, a fantasy western anthology. I figure we make a winning team. The Toysoldier saga is a fantasy space opera universe. It has all of the elements of space opera science fiction, but everything's done by magic. I don't think there's anything out there that is quite like it. And I really hope that you'll enjoy it and the extended universe that has been created around it.
I am Chris. I play Arian, the grizzled older ex-enlisted elf.
Remember, we've only got 30 days to make this happen. With your support, you can have some of the art that's been created for the books, you can have the stories, the ebook, a trade paperback copy, a hardcover copied, you might be able to get them signed. You could even get the entire collection of everything that I have previously published or been published in. Thanks in advance for your support, and thank you for listening.